political stew. I'll be here singing a song about the state of the nation. I'll be here playing to you, telling you about the nation. I'll be speaking, I'll be singing, I'll be screaming about the nation. It's 2019, we're out here now. We gotta talk about the things that bother us. Ow! Political stew. Righteous TV. Oh, political stew. With Sulai Aleda. Come on, buddy.
I know we're gonna do this.
Political stew. Ow! Righteous TV. Uh-huh. Political stew, yeah. With Sulai Aleda.
Now that's a song of rock.
What am I gonna do now?
I don't know what you're gonna do, man.
All right then.
But I know that this is all we've been doing. Well, it's a great moment. It's January 1st, 2019. Best wishes to you for being there for us. It's an exciting moment. The celebrations came too early for us here on TVC, and we really can't but say thanks to you, the team, and to everyone. But today, that excitement takes me back to my first love on radio as a rock DJ. What's the connection between rock and politics, rock tunes and political stew, TV and family as we approach the 2019 elections? Oops, we can't say that anymore because this is 2019. So we'll be talking about the elections in February and the elections in March. It's boiling, stove on, pot on fire. It's cooking time. And when we come back, we'll be talking about all those things that were said in 2018 plus rock and politics. Well, it's Political Stew. I'm Sulaiman Alede, and he is
Dabyna, the son of rock.
It's 2019. Many Nigerians, especially politicians, have one thing in mind: the elections. You can watch us live online on the go at tvcnews.tv/live streaming. We're on live on YouTube, TVC News Nigeria Live, and on youtube.com/politicalstew. You can also watch us live on Facebook. And remember to download the Political Stew app on Google Play Store and follow the program. The good news is that 2018 also saw Political Stew having the iOS. So we're right there for you. But as we go on this break, we'll be coming back to look at what we were served in 2018. And Dabyna definitely will be here for us till the end of the show.
Oh, rockin' politics.
Nothing like it.
You wanna take it away? Rockin' politics.
A whole lot was served in 2018 by those who were actually in the kitchen brewing or cooking a whole lot. But what we decided to do is to look at what we were served in 2018. By the way, it's New Year's Day, January 1st. Joining me now is Liborous Oshoma. He's an attorney at law and also an analyst and a good cook.
Yes. My pleasure. Happy New Year.
Happy New Year. Good to see you. You know, a whole lot has been done. And looking at what we have all through 2018, looking at our menu, you know, from within and outside, a whole lot happened. And one would, but two animals actually, you know, stood out. Two animals stood out, a snake and a monkey for 2018, and how effective these two animals were in our political space. By the way, I think before we get in there, I don't know if you've noticed something about, they call them calves, but I like to define them as baby cows. I don't know what's happening now. The in thing now is that even everyone is looking out to buy a cow, even a baby cow. Driving to the studios, I saw a lot of baby cows being tied and being slaughtered. And it really worries me how people buy calves.
Yeah, if you can't buy the cow, you buy a calf.
So it really doesn't matter.
If it doesn't matter, but the most
and they tie
important
them,
thing is,
you know.
the most important thing is that at least a cow was slaughtered.
Whether it's a baby cow,
I once
an
told
adult cow.
I once told a friend of mine who said, "Look, come to my house, my birthday, I'm killing a cow." And I got there, I said, this looked like a goat. The reality, the financial and economical reality, you know. So people decided to now cut their coats, not according to their size, but according to their clothes.
Because I recall then, going back in Benin, I recall you have to have a very big cow to extend at the hump.
Yeah,
you
check the hump, the torso.
They say, I need a torso.
Yeah,
now
in Aduawa then, you remember.
So the baby cows being killed, they don't even have
no
hump.
torso. No,
now, it brings us to one of the things we were served. Herdsmen, farmers, they clashed big time, you know, all through 2018. How did you see that piece of news, and how did we manage it as a nation?
Yeah, it was so bad that, you know, people now started getting education on when you're traveling and you see cows crossing the road, what to do, what not to do. And then also, you know, it reminds me of growing up back then in Auchi, you know, and then maybe Warri later. And then you see, we remember Zongo, you know. We had herdsmen everywhere, even in my village in Anegbete, there were herdsmen. And we coexisted. But with the, you know, farmers herdsmen crisis, which I think also was more political, because you know, after some time you saw it was like, not that government or the military or the Nigerian police did anything fantastic, but you know, it nosedived. But give kudos to some people also who, you know, probably had put up, you know, vigilante. Because my coming back, you know, from the village now, I saw, you know, a couple of vigilantes on the road. And,
okay, you were at the village.
Yes. You know, all of those Azis from, you know, Auchi, Ekperi, from Auchi all through Ihewe, you know, Sabogidaura, and all of you had vigilantes and all of this. You know, that's not taking away their effort. But where you majorly had this crisis was, you know, around the Middle Belt. And one would have expected that, you know, the moment you saw the political, what do you call it, political markets, as soon as the political market opened and some people jump ship, all of those activities died down. So, one can conveniently say that also that there was more politics in it. And but then that's why Nigerians really need to, permit me to use the word shine their eye as we approach the election this year, so that we don't consistently elect people who play politics with our lives.
Talking about playing politics with our lives, I think by now we should be able to pick out some of these,
Yeah, I can see this stew steaming.
Some of what went down in 2018. And if you look at, I'd like you to do the pick. Let's see what you have.
Yes.
Perhaps.
Okay. Yeah. Okay, Nigerian Air Force ended before it began. Okay, Nigeria Air ended before it began.
The Nigeria Air ended before it began, so it didn't take off.
It didn't even take off, and then with the noise, the hue and cry, and the pomp and pageantry made by the Minister for State for Aviation, Hadi Sirika, about the Nigerian Air, one would have thought that was the the next big thing to come out of Africa, and even going abroad to look for subscribers, and then the whole mess that became of it, and it was such a disaster and very shameful.
Do you think the explanation given to the nation was enough? Because it
wasn't.
Because the hype that went with Nigeria Air, or Air Nigeria, I don't know which came first, but the hype that went with it, we didn't see the same reason or the sufficient reason given to the nation why it refused to take off.
You look when you hear people say the good old days, one would have expected that you say, like they say, the beautiful ones are not yet born. One would have expected to hear, the good days ahead of us. But unfortunately, what you hear is the good old days. And truly, if you reckon, with the past and the present, you truly agree with them. It's good old days. The same Nigerian, you look at photographs, Nigerian Airways, as far back as the 60s, beautiful air hostess, and and then the way the nation was run aground, and then we came with some form of arrangement with Richard Branson, Air Nigeria, Virgin Nigeria, and that didn't see the light of the day. One would expect that, with what Hadi Sirika, the Minister for State for Aviation, was doing, that was going to be fantastic. But industry watchers, the moment they started, industry watchers, did warn that, what was actually happening was, was going to be dead on arrival. And truly, we saw it, that it didn't even last beyond 2018. It didn't even last beyond a few months. One would have expected that at least they should be able to stretch it. Let's even say after the election. Let's people now say, oh, you hoodwinked us with, but that was not to be. And like typical of us, we have all forgotten also. And some money gone down the drain.
I don't want to forget. That's why we're doing all of this. And I don't know. I don't know what I picked because I'm so laid back.
Yeah, this was, we talked about this just before the program, lazy Nigerian youth. President Buhari said Nigerian you don't like to work, and it's a 50-50 thing. Not just, for me, not just the Nigerian youth thing. It's about Nigerians in general. The political side of it. This is the only country, in this part of the world where a man who could barely feed himself goes into politics because he's been asked to come and be. And then he gets there, he's a multi-millionaire, no question asked. Here, a man is a poor man in the morning. By evening, on that same day, he gets a contract and is a multi-billionaire. He's buying mansions, no question asked. He's getting chief taxi title. And so what's basically is happening, you see, there's no mentorship. Unlike before, you see the Awolowos, they were able to mentor the Jakondes, the Professor Ambrose Ali, the Michael Ajasin, and all of that. You had people like Ibrahim Waziri. They had politics without bitterness. They had mentorship. And then also our former president that just died, Alhaji Shehu Shagari, all of these people came from the First Republic. So they had a trend. It was a common trend. These were followers of the Sadana of Sokoto, Ahmadu Bello, and Tafawa Balewa. God rest their soul. But today, what you have is a man with no ideology either jumps from PDP to APC, APC back to PDP, and then he has followership, and he's a rich man, no ideology, nothing to latch onto. And so the youth also would want to live that kind of life. Like I said, I just came back from home, and you know, I short of crying for some persons.
But again, going back,
so when you look at this, really, you know, when the president made that statement, there were a lot of backlash. But also, you can't take away from what the president said. But I had also expected that the president also would set machineries in motion, you know, because the world is actually diversified to a knowledge-based economy, not in
I really wanted us to go back
into... set machineries in motion to ensure that these lazy people, are mentored, because, to believe in hard work.
Because it's also part of what is in the pot, but I really want us to quickly talk about that before it gets lost in the whole discourse. And it has to do with the passing of Alhaji Shehu Shagari.
Yeah.
And you've said something about the kind of politicians we have today.
Yeah.
And that was a man, you know, the military government at that time said wasn't really, you know, had, you know, a bit of, you know, questions to answer. But till death, we saw the kind of life he lived.
Apart from the life, Alhaji Shehu Shagari, God rest his soul, my condolence to his family and to the entire country. We lost a great man.
A statesman.
Yeah, you apart from the kind of life he lived, he was a very simple man, a teacher in the First Republic, you know. And then the whole thing about, you know, it dawned on me during his burial, just like, you know, it dawned on some of us during the burial rite of Umar Musa Yaradua, that look, you know, we came with nothing to this world, and the grave does not have a bag, you know. And so, as simple as it is, just you and the grave. And so, when with this kind of primitive acquisition of wealth that we see our business people, our political class, at the end of the day, on that day when God will call you, okay, what will you take with you? So we saw it. Like Shehu Shagari lived a very simple life.
It's a food for thought.
Live a very simple life, and it's gone to meet his maker. And I know he will be at peace with his maker. So my message to our political leaders would be, on this day, on that day, what would be, you know, we got
loads and loads in the pot. And one other thing we saw in 2018 is the police inspector general of police transmission,
and
that made headline. Do you think that was dyslexia?
You see, Sulai, because of the political, because of the brand of politics we play now, we've been so divided. We've never been this divided. And so rather than look at issues holistically, you know, no matter how true these issues are, we always, you know, oh, look, they are doctored. Oh, these are, they are, now you are photoshops. And nobody wants to investigate. Thanks to people like you, though, nobody wants to investigate these days. Even investigative journalism is no more than, one would have expected that, you know, some persons, journalists were that for her. You know, what happened? What actually happened? Nobody, not even, you know, an article on what actually happened. And then the whole thing just fizzled out, and the man is still retaining his seat, and no investigation. Well, then some persons were threatened.
Dapchi girls kidnap also made news, and just as we were talking about that kidnap, they were released, but one person has still not been released.
Just before Christmas, I got a message that as you're celebrating Christmas, pray for Leah Sharibu. And, you know, I came to tears because I have children, and I asked myself, if this were my daughter, what would I do? What would I be doing? And that's why in Sena society, the life of one citizen means a lot. You saw the burial of this French police. You saw the emotional display, you know, by the French president, you know, when he placed his hand on the casket, and it was touching. But here, you know, it's when politics around the corner that we try to play, you know, emotional.
So Leah Sharibu is still there.
She's still there. So I would have expected that.
This is 2019.
This 2019, as we go into the election, we hope that the Nigerian military, because my heart goes out to most of the Nigerian military who are busy laying down their life for our tomorrow. Government will do everything possible to ensure that.
Mr. Oshoma, because we have lots to talk
I'll
about.
try
So that's why I'm
to...
So senators, I think specifically, it was Senator Shosani who said monkeys ate 70 million naira. For a moment, some
Nigerians said
would,
monkeys and snakes did make history.
Monkeys and snakes, true animals.
Yes, it was a story, was absurd. Initially it was the monkeys. And funny enough, the saddest part of it is that some people actually believed it. That, no, these things can be spiritual. We are so religious and less godly in this country. Some people actually believe that this thing happened, that a lady in JAMB office could mismanage fund. Because before now, it was, they sell these cards and make money, make away with government fund. And as if that was not enough, the next thing, I think Northern Senators Caucus, the former head, Senator Abdullah, the former governor of Nasarawa State, they were, I think it was relief of his post then. They said they had 70 million with him, and the man said that the monkey actually, went away.
We're talking about monkeys.
And that also just fizzled away, no questions asked. It's sad, really. I wonder how the world will look at us.
We also had some couple of other news now for 2018. We saw Senator Dino Melai jumping out of a police van and landing at the hospital.
Yeah, that was our Rambo for 2018.
We saw of a bank robbery leaving town. The town rattled with about 33 people dead and suspects.
Arrested. Anytime I see Senator, excuse me, Dino Melai, I shake my head and I say, some of us that are agitating for a paradigm shift, let the youth, but look at the kind of young people that we are parading. And then I also, anytime I see him, what comes to mind is, beautiful Nollywood movie, hanging on the tree for 11 hours or 9 hours, jumping from a moving vehicle and all the drama and it just went away like that.
Well, that's with the
and
national.
Then,
that's a member of the National Assembly. But
then
again,
coming to
for the executive, no, we'll come to the offer. For the executive, what we saw with the executive,
the Minister for Sports.
No, Kemi Adeosun resigned. Yeah, she resigned her appointment over NYSC fake. Exemption certificate.
Fantastic. She actually won my heart. In spite of all that had happened before then, she throwing in the towel to say, look, well, I didn't know that what was, actually procured for me was fake. And for that, she stepped aside. That was novel. Just the same way the day Fayemi conceded defeat to Fayose, and then subsequently Goodluck Jonathan doing the same thing. This were novel. So when Kemi Adeosun did that, for me it was like, yes, this is, this opened a new vista, a new door to our politics. But what happened thereafter? We heard some other persons that didn't also have, NYSC discharge certificates. A lot of them are still holding on tight, tenaciously to their position. Even some that are aspiring now, into some, political offices. So it shows that truly there are a lot of things we are truly not ready for. And I wish Nigerians, all of us, will see things for what they are, see ourselves, different from the political class that look, it's us against them. So there's really no need, holding on to one side of the divide. Let's look at the good side and the bad side. And then the offer robbery, it brings me to the same issue. Scores died, people, families, and then the star witness or the kingpin dying in police custody, and we are not protesting, we are not demonstrating to say, look, police, you must investigate the cause of death. What led to this man can't just die like that. You're the main actor in a murder case that involves a number 3 person. Just like that.
Well,
and as we
I
approach
think
the election,
a whole lot to look at when we come back,
country
because we're talking about the
sometimes
pro-Biafra women who were protesting and how they were arrested, detained. We also saw Theresa May visiting Nigeria in 2018, Senator Adeleke entertaining a lot of people with his dance steps and ultimately, finally losing in that election. We'll take a moment. When we'll come back, we'll look at all of this, and Dabyna is still with us right here, and we'll strum some and perhaps ask him what he's been up to, knowing full well that he's represented Nigeria at some international rock competition back then, and what's to come for us in 2019. Well, it's a big moment, and it's the countdown moving towards the end, and that is 2019. So Dabyna is still very much here, and Liborous Oshoma is here. But, well, it's New Year. You know, sometimes you cut up here. And I want to say hello to some angels, and I hope I can actually get to talk to them live on television. I've always said I'm going to put you guys on TV. Hello.
Hello.
How you doing?
We're doing good.
It's New Year. Happy New Year.
Yes.
Hello, can you hear me? Anyway, I think I lost that connection. I'm going to put them back on, and I hope I have that conversation with them to actually see how those, you know, pretty angels are actually having a fantastic January fest. Now, let's quickly talk to you. First of all, I want to say thank you very much. You know, we've always done this back in the day while I was still on radio as a rock DJ, and I said to you, I said, could you please come on Political Studio and do this for us? And you decided to do this at no cost. I really must say thank you very much.
You're welcome.
But again, what's been happening? Because a lot of stuff people have been asking, and I still remember a lot of people once or twice when I play your songs in the car, they ask, is he Nigerian? What exactly is he up to now? So perhaps you want to tell us.
Yeah, I've been recording. Yeah, have 3 albums. Working on a new album this year, and basically we're still trying to get the promoters and the big wigs in the industry, even though we've been doing it ourselves. You know, to put the power behind rock music, because you know, we used to have reggae music that helped the masses to talk about politics and to guide the people. You know, as much as I love the hip hop thing, but it's it doesn't get into the political era. You know, so with the rock music, we can still, you know, reach out to the people because it's got message, you know, and tell the people what's happening. Because like I always say, you know, if you go into a new country and you want to understand the system of the people, the mindset of the people, just ask for the 3 most popular artists in that country. Take their CDs home, sit down, listen to all the lyrics. Whatever is in the content of the artist music, that's what the nation is all about.
they're breaking tables.
Whoa.
Yes, because you cannot have the kind of music we have without the kind of people that buy them.
That's true. So
If we talk about people wriggling to beats and, you know, shaking bomb.
It's like
And I
wine.
have maybe 9 out of 10 telling me about shaking some body parts. So does that translate to what the people are about?
No, it's
True,
right
true,
now.
true.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah.
It does.
Oh my.
that's the rave.
It's like wine also. It's like wine. You see, the political system in Nigeria is, you can't separate the music from every other thing in Nigeria. It's the same, whether it's engineering, music, politics. It's like wine. You give wine to the people that are heavy laden. Let them drink, let them get drunk and forget their sorrows. So Nigerians are dancing to a beat that is leading them astray.
Is that why in political rallies and campaigns, it's all about maybe 80% or 85% dance and 5% talk and maybe 10%, you know,
to add to
tables
what you
being,
just said,
being broken?
You know, those days when you listen to Fela, makes a lot of sense. You listen, after
Magic
listening,
Fashek.
you want to go and, you know, do something. I remember listening to Magic Fashek, I can't give up the fight until I know the reason why. I can't give up the struggle because I'm aware of the battle. I remember listening to Whitney Houston, the greatest love of all. You know, it motivates me. Remember listening to rock and roll, and it inspires you. But these days, when you hear Malologede, Malologede, and it doesn't make sense to you, and that's what we are playing. Sorry, I'm saying that.
No, I don't want a mention of anyone.
No, I'm just saying. We
Music
talked
now.
about the youths.
Yeah.
You remember we talked about the youth.
I'm
and
a
the
youth, so I
president
can speak
saying-
about the youth.
and the president saying, you know, they're not ready to work. So that's also the same. There's no motivation, and then you soak yourself in this kind of music.
Did you know I can defend? Actually, I can actually defend the artist of today.
Absolutely.
Yes, there is a gap. There was no bridge between the old and the young. So there is a gap. You see, every youth in Nigeria now, from the age of 30 below, grew up knowing three things: money, corruption.
No
Yes.
mentorship. No mentorship.
You understand? Money, corruption, sex. So that's what the music is all about: drinking, corruption, sex.
So you have a new one because you know the eve of 2019 you came up with a single, something Waka,
Johnny Walker.
Johnny Waka.
Yeah, it's a metaphor. It's more like a man who woke up one morning. The average Nigerian just wakes up and just believes he's going to be a millionaire tomorrow. So Johnny Walker woke up. He drinks palm wine. He's a drunkard. He woke up with his bottle of palm wine, and he said he's coming to Lagos to become a millionaire.
How did you get around that lyrics?
You know, haven't been.
Because you sent it over to me and I
Yes.
listened. Hey, what was going through your mind?
You know, I've always written my songs in English because I believe music is universal. The older folks sang in English, but I keep hearing people tell me, do something and pitch it and get to the people. So I was like, okay, even if I'll go into the Nigerian thing, it has to have a message.
Yeah.
It has to, my kids should be able to listen to it and say, oh, Daddy, you've done well. So I thought of how do I bring out a song that the grassroots will listen to and they will sit down and meditate over it.
Yeah.
You know, and have an understanding that, you know, you can actually listen to all kinds of music, but there must be a balance. It's like a political stew. It's not just one ingredient that is inside.
Fantastic.
You have different ingredients in it. That's how music is. But when you keep eating just one thing, you will die.
But before we go back to that Skype talk, I hope I can establish the Skype connection again. Let me quickly, because I said something about you going for that international rock competition. Correct me, or rather bring me up. When was that again?
That was 10 years ago.
One held in Dubai or so?
Yes, Dubai.
I remember, I was
I
still
met
on radio
Slash
then.
and some of the rock stars.
You met Slash?
I met Slash.
I love Slash.
Mikey Ramone and a whole lot of them. But I have a sad story about that. I didn't get sponsorship from this country. I applied to banks, I applied to all the brands, and I sponsored myself. The organizer sponsored me. I got there. I came second because I couldn't get a visa for 2 of my band members. But I still took part in the event and I came second. Actually came first because the band supported me. Got long story short, I got contacts and all that. I came to Nigeria. If I mention who robbed me on air.
No, you wouldn't.
you see, but really, quickly,
I was robbed.
Quickly,
Everything I brought was taken from me.
Quickly,
You know, but
quickly.
I love this country, so
but
I've been
quickly,
trying to.
the issue is in Nigeria, nobody recognizes you until you're on top.
Yeah, until you hammer.
Even most of the programs and sports activities you see on prime time today, if they tell you when they started, nobody wanted to support them.
Well, anyway, I think...
You know, with your efforts, when you get there, I know that, you know, promoters and everybody, your music...
We'll always give you our support, honestly, always and all the time. We'll come back again now, and perhaps maybe my people would love to hear a little bit of Johnny
You
Waka.
can't separate music from politics.
Certainly not.
Never.
You know how many musicians have been planned, gathered for the rallies? Yeah.
Okay. Quickly, before we actually move, because we're trying to look at some of the issues that that made news in 2018, and one of the things I wanted to bring to you was that here in Lagos, we're right here in Lagos, we saw high-level politics, how an incumbent lost the ticket. That also made news, and.
Yeah.
Did you see it? Did you see it coming?
I didn't see it. I won't lie. I didn't see it coming, but a lot of people saw it coming. yeah, with the kind of politics that the current governor played, a lot of people were of the view that, this man probably might not come back because, according to them, we saw what happened to Fashola. The grace of Fashola was the fact that, Fashola connected with the people. Just that the Godfather was angry with him. But here, the Godfather was happy, but the people were not happy. And so the Godfather had to listen to the people.
So the Godfather watches the people to act.
Yes.
So if he sees that the people
that's what makes a
with
good
you,
Godfather. If he sees that the people are with you,
he backs down.
He backs down. That was the difference between Fashola's case and Ambode's case. But for Ambode, the people were not with him. And so the Godfather, even though the Godfather, wanted him to go, but, hey, the people who are going to vote are saying, look, we don't want this man. And then the way they went about it also was not too, was a bit not too, not too clear, because it made it look as if it was about the Godfather. And so that also spoiled a lot of things.
Another thing is the man we mentioned, the distinguished Senator Dino Melai, is still very much in the news. Just
always in the news for the wrong reasons.
Because no, he came up with about 2 songs, 2 videos. Yes,
yeah.
That was it. It was a classic release in 2018. But before the
and then he came up with a whole my home. There were so many.
Absolutely.
Nollywood is missing.
That wasn't me. That wasn't me.
Dino, my man. People say I look like him.
Maybe the beard.
Yeah, exactly.
But again, he made news, at the eve of 2019, and this time, speaking seriously, it has to do with the police, laying siege in his house. And as we speak to this moment, I think that's still on, and no one knows the whereabouts of the.
That wasn't even the first time. You see, the Nigerian police, are a bunch of, at the very top, a bunch of very serious people.
Yeah, I think that's very uncharitable.
No, let's be real. This 2019. And in assessing 2018, the only
I'm
thing
not part of it.
we can do to ourselves is let's tell ourselves the truth.
You're a lawyer.
Yes.
I'm just a cook. I'm a chef. I'm a political chef. I'm not part of this.
Let the police go to court. I have more than 1 million witnesses to say that Nigerian police is very unserious. Very, very, very unserious people. You have a lot of people, personnel in the police, who would want to, do the work of the policing. But the police force itself, the authorities are truly not ready to motivate, to encourage. And so at the end of the day, the work is either haphazardly done, even when they want to do it, or not done at all. Look at the Saraki's case, and then the police and the DSS with the siege on the National Assembly. And then you have, this is not the first time also on Dino Melaye's case. And then look at the case of Dino jumping from a moving vehicle, and then Dino hanging on a tree, and all of those.
Sir,
you keep.
If I may cut in, can you separate the situation of our police force from the situation of Nigeria as a whole?
That's what I'm saying. That it's garbage.
I think that's
I
a
was
big
driving from Festac. I had my kids in the car. One of them, we saw a police checkpoint. They stopped me, their usual way. Hey, Shansa, your boys are here. And then I told them, I said, one of my kids says he wants to be a policeman. The policeman there shouted, God forbid! Don't join police. Yes.
We'll go on a break. When we come back, we'll have some cakes, we'll have some guitars, we'll have some laughs, and I'll tell Liborous Oshoma again that I'm not with him on this police matter, because it's just me on this side. I'll see when we come back.
dole ne in taka rawa a gabanka nan ko bana shakka ai za ka yi murmushi na rike ka a raina bana wariya.
It's a fresh start. Nigeria can do it again. It's a fresh start. We all can be united. So like you and I, with the attorney, the policeman,
Yes, sir.
the lawyer man,
I love the policeman.
the preacher man,
I love the preacher man.
the journalist, even the herbalist. Hey, it's a fresh start.
That's what's written on the cake. It's
Oh,
a
really?
fresh start.
We can do it again.
Absolutely.
Somebody sing with me. It's a fresh start. We can do it again. God bless Nigeria.
God bless Nigeria.
It's a fresh start. We can do it again.
Thank you very much. I think that now, before we actually cut this cake and leave, I also want my producers to come for those that can actually leave, the backstage. They can come join me here so that we can do this cutting of the cake. Do I have my angels again on Skype quickly? Let's see if we can actually have a conversation quickly with them. Are they still on Skype? Hello.
Hello.
Happy New Year, Camila.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
Well, how has it been for you?
Good.
So what happened last night, the countdown, the crossover?
It was good. I set up with my brothers and sisters. We did the countdown, and we didn't go to sleep. We watched some movies, and we ate because we were hungry. And we heard a lot of fireworks that sounded like guns, and we told stories and laughed and stuff at each other, and we went to sleep.
Now, let me ask you this, because this is 2019. There is a girl in Nigeria who's been kidnapped, and there are some other people who are not in school. So do you have a message that you would want the government to do for young children like yourself? What would you be saying to them for 2019?
I would want more security guards so nobody can be kidnapped. More people to go for education, like it's a must for you to go to education. More people to go to college so you can get better jobs instead of walking on the streets hawking. And freedom.
Freedom. I haven't actually said hello to Yasmin. Yasmin, how are you?
Good.
So what are you eating?
Toast and jelly.
Oh my God. So how's school been like? Are you in school today?
No.
Why?
We have winter break.
So I understand you've been writing a book.
Yes.
So how many chapters?
2.
Okay, I think it's about time we say bye-bye. I did say I was going to put you guys on live television. Perhaps maybe you guys didn't know. Both of you are on live television, even though your brother has refused. He's always the shy type. So Jamal has refused to say. Jamal, can you just put your face on the camera? Let me say hello to you. Where is he?
He's coming.
Jamal, where are you?
Yes.
That's my boy. All right. Bye-bye, Jamal. He doesn't like saying anything. Okay, Camila, Yasmin, bye-bye. My beautiful babies. Well, so it's a complete new year. So we're going to have this cake. Where are my producers? I want everyone here. So we're going to do this while we cut this. It's an ice cream cake, so we have to quickly do this before it starts melting away. We have the ladies here.
There's no need to calm down.
She's the one who. I think the DG of the NYC should be proud. She is a core member who is serving with Aleda Media Network. So perhaps you should put your hand there, and so we all go like so. Dabyna, you have to do this. So it's going to be a fresh start for many people in Nigeria,
and then we'll shout fresh starts for Nigeria.
Fresh start
for Nigeria.
So that's a song. That's a song, Johnny Waka. It has a bit of a high life, if you ask me. So that's how it's going to be on today's show. We'd like to thank you very much for being such a nice company on Political Street today. Many thanks to Dabyna Abraham for coming all the way. Liborous Oshoma, Tohir Momodu, many thanks. And of course, Jerry and Nelson, they've been fantastic. And our director, he believes everything goes bad. So director, thumbs up to you. Timothy and X-Base, the camera group, everyone, the Dawn, everybody, they're awesome. They make working here so easy. And to all those who made this possible for us winning this award, we want to say thank you very much. And we do hope that you understand that winning this means more work. So let's hear some guitar and we eat some cakes.
Johnny Waka, where they go? Where they go, Waka, eh? Johnny Waka, where they go? Aye. Johnny Waka, where they go? Where they go, Waka, eh? Johnny Waka, where they go? Aye. Adepago echo. Them say I go make plenty ego. Aye.